Max and Anastasia from the Haunt. I'm super excited to talk to you guys.
Hi,
Hi,
thank you
how
so
are
much for
you?
having us.
Yeah, man. So, Florida band, I guess we need to start at the beginning. How did the Haunt come about?
We kind of just, there was a moment when she was really young. We kind of discovered like she could sing and she started like really, singing at open mics and stuff like that. And she would do a lot of stuff a cappella. And she was struggling with some, social anxiety and shyness at the time. And she would kind of make me sit on the stage as like her emotional support animal. And I wasn't playing anything at the time. And then that kind of got like boring. So then eventually I was like, this is ridiculous, and kind of just started playing. I had kind of played piano at the time, and then I started taking guitar lessons. And then from there, we kind of started playing guitar and vocal together and added instruments over time, and just kind of slowly came together organically from there.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note you guys are brother and sister, which is
Yeah,
really cool. Yeah,
right.
that how's that dynamic touring? Do you guys have sibling rivalries and things like that?
Yeah, of course. But I think it's a lot of we always kind of say that the good outweighs the bad on it because it's one of
Sure.
the things where, you can kind of be open and free with like your opinions and how you feel about things, and you're never really at risk of like when you start a band with anybody, it's either like most of the time it's a friend or like a stranger. And so you can't really like always voice the things that you want to say and stuff like that. There's no lack of honesty in the band, and so we're kind of able to really get creative and uh, work through things and not really feel the risk of like things falling apart or anything like that.
Sure. Yeah, that kind of insulates you. That's cool. Um, how would you describe your music? You're relatively new. How would you describe your music, and what are some of the early influences that shaped your sound?
I feel like it's always really hard to describe our music. I don't know if other bands feel this way, but I feel like it's pretty hard for us to like say what it is. I mean, I would imagine like most people at this point would describe it female fronted, hard rock with some alternative in there. We have influences of industrial, we grew up listening to pretty different kinds of music, and then there were a few like really great like crossover bands. My first concert was Nine Inch Nails. Hers was Jack White, and White Stripes were always a band that we kind of shared and loved. And Royal Blood was another one that we really loved when we were younger and even now to this day. So
Yeah.
combination from a lot of different places.
How'd you come up with the name Haunt? Is that really your last names?
Yeah.
That was, yeah, and that was our name of our first EP as well. So,
Yeah. That's cool. That's a great last name. I'm jealous.
Thank you.
So I had the opportunity to see you for the first time in Las Vegas. It was like a rock showcase for new and upcoming bands. It was 3 or 4 days, and you guys stole the weekend. It's interesting, Anastasia, that you have stage fright because I couldn't tell in Las Vegas.
yeah,
Um,
no, I don't anymore.
yeah,
I've been
you
playing
worked through
out.
that.
Yeah, I've been playing out since I'm like 10, 11, or like full
Sure.
band since then.
Yeah.
So, even
Okay.
then by myself, open mics and just with him. So, it's been my whole life. So I'm kind of over that. But I still get nervous. I still get nervous sometimes if it's
Yeah. Well.
There's certain shows that you look at and you're like, wow, this isn't like when we just did our first US festival, we just did Louder Than Life. And it's like not the performance stage fright, but it's just like, wow, this is a big opportunity, like that kind of nerves. And so,
Sure.
yeah.
Well, you couldn't tell. I think your live show is super energetic. It's fun. You guys sounded great. The band was tight. So I'm really excited for people to see you on these Florida Afterween shows, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So you just mentioned you've played some big festivals. Do you guys have a favorite crowd reaction moment or a favorite place that you've played so far?
Ooh. It's always hard because I feel like it it ends up changing like every tour we go on. There's a new like favorite moment and stuff like that. We just did our European headliner. We're about to leave for our US headliner. And we did Europe first, and there was a couple of moments on that run that were just unbelievable. We played Download for the first time, which was the biggest crowd we've ever played in front of. Um, And I mean, just from our headliners too, we did like a sold out show in London and a sold out show in Munich, I believe it was,
Yeah.
Cologne. Those three were like really standout, just great shows. But honestly, like since we started headlining this year, like the energy at the shows is so different when people are there to see you. It's fun, like impressing people and like trying to gain audience as a opening act. But when you're the headliner and everyone's singing along, the energy has just been amazing this whole year.
Yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, that's got to feel great. And you're, like I said, your live show, very energetic. What do you guys do to get pumped to go on stage? Are there any pre-show rituals, that kind of stuff?
Red Bull is one of the honestly the big ones. It's like I know it sounds like pretty tame, but it really is. It's like, because you work all day as a band, even when you're not like you're doing the sound check and you're setting up the stage. We don't have like a giant elaborate crew or anything like that. So when we actually get hyped to go on the stage, it's like chug the Red Bull, time it up, make sure.
Ritual wise, I feel like we used to do some weirder shit, but we don't anymore. That sounded weird. We didn't do anything crazy. We didn't do anything that weird, but we would do like little songs and dances and huddles and stuff.
Yeah.
But we still do that, and we try to get everyone just in the same room and on the same headspace.
Lock in.
We lock in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of just dap each other up real quick.
Get hype. We get hype. Jumping around backstage, but we make sure that we're like all together a decent amount of time before we go on and kind of just like
some Fetty Wap is involved somehow.
Definitely. 1938. Yeah.
Hey, it works. Whatever you're doing, keep it up. So perfect. You guys recently collaborated with Craig from Escape the Fate on Masochistic Lovers. How did that collaboration come about? And are there any other collabs maybe in the works or ones you'd like to do in the future?
I mean, yeah. So, I mean, firstly, it was awesome working with Craig. He's such a nice guy, and it was so awesome working with him. It came about mostly because Kevin Thrasher, who produced our entire record, well, obviously used to be in Escape the Fate with Craig. And so that was kind of how the connection, we wrote the song and we loved the song, but we felt like it could use another voice on it, especially a male voice. And I sang on some of the songs on the record, but we were looking for a feature anyway. And we were like, this could be, it was actually Kevin's idea. And he was like, I think this would be a great, I think he would kill this. And he did. And then it just came together from there. And the song, immediately was our largest release, and just like people seemed to really love it. And we loved the reaction to that song. It's so much fun.
We got to perform it with him live that night that you saw, and then again recently, like 2 weeks ago. So
yeah, we just went on tour. We did a few dates with them on their run, so it was really fun to be able to play the song together.
Yeah, very cool. And then you're now the second single, which we're all playing, Bad Omen, another great song. Tell us a little bit about that song, maybe its meaning, that kind of thing.
You want to? I mean, I feel like it's that it's kind of like what the name implies. It's when you listen to the lyrics of the song, it's about, kind of figuring out that maybe all the things that go wrong around you, or everything that's going on negatively in your life is your fault. And then it's kind of about taking over that role, right? About like, this is who I am, and I'm going to use this kind of as a power, as opposed to like, treat it as like a demon or like a negative thing.
Okay. Your album New Addiction that dropped this summer, fantastic album. I encourage people to pick it up. Is there a core story or emotion that ties the whole album together?
I feel like this album for us was really like the time where we felt most like we had kind of connected the dots on everything that we were trying to accomplish musically. I think lyrically, I think musically, I think just conceptually for the record. We wrote it when we were going through a really, really hard time in our life, and we kind of separated into two halves, where it was like where we were going through a really hard time in our lives, and then it was past that point, which was kind of better in some ways, worse in others. And it was like just a really tumultuous time for the band and for us. And it was a great time to write a record. It just kind of timed up that way because we had a lot to talk about. And then musically, I think we really just hit our stride with Kevin. We had done songs with him in the past, and it was just like everything kind of came together for this kind of perfect storm for like, it felt like the record we'd been trying to create for a few years. And it all came together the right way. So for us, that's kind of like why we named it New Addiction. It was kind of like a new us, and it felt like very much like what we've been trying to accomplish for a while.
Yeah, it's a great album. So congratulations. And we covered your live shows are incredible. We've got a great Florida run, and I think it's perfect right around Halloween to have the Haunt performing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna, I know we have November 1st in Orlando, in actually Sanford West End Trading Company. So that's gonna be the JRR Afterween show. Then you guys hit Jacksonville for Planet Radio's Afterween show. That one's gonna be at Jackrabbits November 2nd. And then you guys are heading to Tallahassee November 4th at Fire Betty's. You guys FSU fans?
I I visited FSU. It was one of the colleges I thought about going to when I did consider going to college. I'm not honestly a huge like college football fan. I do like watching all the teams, but I do root for the Florida teams. We were out the other night and UM was playing FSU, and that game didn't end very well for FSU, but it's fun to just like watch, the energy at like when you're at like a bar in Florida when it's a Florida versus Florida game going on is insane.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big rivalries there.
Yeah.
So, well, great guys. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Everybody needs to pick up the new album, New Addiction. Go see you guys at these Afterween shows. And congratulations to all your success. I look forward to seeing you. I'll be at the November 2nd show.
Thank you so
Amazing.
much.
Thank
We're
you.
excited. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. All right. Take care, guys.